Hey guys, came back with the newest two episodes of Danmachi season 5 because Danmachi was on their hiatus and well, Danmachi said they'd be coming back. I made a video talking about it coming back and yeah, well, Danmachi's back. Now, it's not come the next episode 14 will not come out this next week. It will come out the following week. So which is the week of the 16th, February 16th through the 22nd, and then the last episode will be the following week after that to close off season 5, and we can finally get the conclusion we needed to see. And man, I was very excited to see where the show was going to go after we were left off on that cliffhanger. And well, hey, the wait was worth it. The wait was definitely worth it. But hey, I'm not mad. I'll take it. We'll see where we saw what happened in this episode. This episode, just like with ReZero, the counterattack has started, and we got some shocking reveals. Well, actually, not shocking reveals, but one shocking reveal that just showed up out of the blue. I did not even expect this to happen, but it happened, right? So there's that. But let's start off with episode 12. Episode 12 is rightfully Ryu's episode, man. Just absolutely crazy. Now, backstory and fun fact watching. When I remembered that Danmachi was coming back today, I watched episode 13 first, and then completely forgetting, oh wait, episode 12 is also a brand new episode, because then I clicked on one of the people who I would like to watch reviews of when it comes to the show, and the moment the person said we got 2 episodes, I'm like, wait, we got 2 episodes? And I saw, oh shit, I missed it. So I had to go back and watch episode 12 to see how episode 13 started. Now, why I did not recognize, like, what the heck was going on, whatever, I don't know, stupid me. I was so excited to see Danmachi. But episode 12, this was rightfully Ryu's episode, and Ryu shows up at the nick of time when it looks like all hope is basically lost, right? But you just have it to where Bell is continuously still getting beat up and beat down by Otori. He basically tells Otori's like, you said if I need to see Lady Freya, and talk to her, I have to get past you. If I have to see Seer, I have to get past you. I have to reach you, right? And even though Bell has been getting his ass whooped, he gets back up, does the typical Captain America shit we saw in the MCU where he's like, I can do this all day. And Otori's like, all right, come. So, there's that. You just had it to where all these characters, they ended up just getting beat the hell out of, right? Also, too, the Freya family members are actually like finding the goddesses now, and they're taking their flowers. Like, you have it to where one of the goddesses, I forgot his name, but he can defend himself, right? He was fighting some Freya Familia members that were trying to get his flower, and he was doing a pretty good job. He ended up getting like ganged up and got his flowers taken away. Hephaestus basically tells Hestia, like, hey Hestia, you need to get the hell out of here because they're close to finding you. And it's basically this group is led by Anya's brother. Anya's brother is basically, taking charge of that. And Hephaestus tells Hestia, like, no, you need to get out of here, because if they find you, it's over. We're cooked. We're done, right? And Hephaestus basically is like, look, I'm gonna create a diversion. I'm gonna run away. So that's what she ends up doing. She runs away, but eventually, like, Anya's brother just shows up and just like takes her flower, right? And I'm just like, of course, conveniently. So Hestia gets out of there. She was hiding under this bush at the end of the episode where like the brother was almost there, right? So there's that. And we then cut to the one elf person in not Haydn, the other elf person who's in the Freya Familia, who absolutely destroyed like Daphne. Like, Daphne was using this, like, I guess his ability that like made her skin look like freaking tree bark or whatever. It's like supposed to give her an enhancement, but regardless, this dude beat all of them like fairly easily, and he was beating the shit out of Cassandra. Or no, not Cassandra, Daphne, right? And Cassandra's actually healing her because Cassandra's telling Daphne, or Daphne's telling Cassandra, Jesus, hey, heal me, keep healing me, Cassandra. And Cassandra reluctantly is healing her, but it comes to the point where like, dude gives Daphne a pretty devastating attack, and Cassandra runs up and hugs Daphne and it's like, Daphne, please, please just stop. I'm worried about you. And Daphne's like, heal me again, Cassandra. I need to keep fighting, right? I need to keep fighting. And the dude basically comes up to them, holds his sword. He's like, you got 3 seconds to say you give up. Otherwise, I'm going to take y'all both down, right? And Cassandra reluctantly, because she wants. Now, Daphne's like, don't listen to him, just heal me. But Cassandra, because she cares about her friend so much, she's like, I can't do it. I give up. And everything. And it makes sense. Like, dog, that's your best friend. Like, you ain't gonna have your best friend damn near freaking get killed in this whole situation. And everything, right? I felt for Cassandra. Like, that's her friend. She didn't want to see her friend get beat up like that. So all of a sudden, this wind starts blowing, and obviously that's pays respects to Ryuu because her title is the Gale Wind, right? And she shows up on the battlefield, and basically, Lily shows up. We cut over to Lily, and Lily's like, "This is it. This is what it was worth it for." And basically, the whole point of this whole thing is, in a weird way, the obviously, even though they were outmanned, our characters were kind of basically like stalling for time till even when we get to the next episode where the cafe girls end up showing up. It was basically these characters that we've all known. They were doing the best to stall till these characters came onto the battlefield to change the tide. And I'll talk more about that in the next episode. But freaking Ryuu shows up and she's ready to get into freaking action, and her and the other elf starts clashing and everything. I'm just like, oh, here we go, Ryuu, here we go. Now the dude makes a mention like Ryuu is a hell of a lot stronger than when I last fought her. And shockingly enough, what happens is Ryuu steps back and she's like, all right, it's time to reveal my power. And she basically reveals her power. She does an enchantment, right? And also another thing that happens is the freaking Freya Familia healer, who's basically, her top is basically fried from the fight. So one, I don't know how them little scraps of her top is like holding up when you literally have the boinging right under there. I don't know why they're not. Look, I'm just saying they should be sagging, but they're not. And also, look, she in basically underwears. Clearly enough, Danmachi doing that for your little fan service. You're getting your little fan service of a little healer girl. I'm not mad at it, but I'm just like, good God, can somebody tell her to put some damn clothes on? Shit. Like, damn, even her freaking underwears look like they about to be like gone and done too. I'm just like, geez Louise. I'm like, you fighting in this outfit, right? But regardless, she shows him, and Ryu's basically all like, Ryu's surrounded by everybody, right? So then she does this enchantment spell, and she enchanted her sword with fire, right? And the other elf dude is like, wait, that's like her attack, and it's basically Ryuu doing her former guildmate's, I think her name was Elise, her attack, and she's mastered it, right? Well, now in the episode she says like the dude says as he's clashing like she hasn't fully mastered it, but in a weird way, like you gotta kind of say like you mastered it if you were able to unlock the ability or just even do the enchantment. And we get a very big revelation that Ryu's old familia has actually returned, and that is the Estrella familia has come back, because we remember from the previous season, the incident that happened in the dungeon with the Estrella familia members and some of their top members. In a weird way, it kind of like broke that entire familia, and you see Estrella walking on the bridge saying, go get, essentially saying, go get him, Ryu, right? And we also find out is that Ryu is now a level fucking 6. When they released that, I was like, oh my god. I'm like, wait, how is she a level 6? She's not under a current goddess. And then it makes sense because she ended up going back to the Estrella Familia to ask for some assistance. And I bet you she ended up, obviously, Estrella did her level check and basically upgraded her level, right? So, and the thing is, we have it to where it was explained, Hermes, but like, it makes sense how she was able to get to level 6 and max and get a level, enhancement, because basically since she done left the Estrella Familia, she had recurring battle after recurring battle after recurring battle. It's basically like in a freaking RPG, you have like, if you can just say like, or it's like in a weird case, like in Pokemon, right? Where you can stop, like your Pokemon has hit the evolve level limit, right? But you keep denying it evolving, right? But then after you make it gain another level, it can then evolve, and you're like, okay, got what I needed, now it can evolve, right? That's basically what happened with Ryu, and she does the exact same movements and everything like her old friend, her tragic passed away friend, and I guess you could say in a weird way her mentor, Elise, fighting in the same way, gracefulness and everything. And it's actually making the dude like completely get like, completely discombobulated. And then she jumps into the air and then she unleashes this like freaking attack that takes out like the freaking Freya Familia healers, like all forces. So it's basically him versus her, and she ends up beating him and everything. So yeah, I don't know if the dude clearly knew Elise, so I don't know if I don't remember if he had actual like, friendship or relationship with her. But when I saw this, it sucks that it took me a whole episode later to finally see this after I watched the episode ahead of it. But when you get that moment and it's like it honestly, and then you have the Estrella Familia members showing up, and especially Estrella right then and there showing back up. It's like a full circle moment to the events of season 4 and everything that has happened in there, or that happened in season 4, and it's kind of like, okay, we have now officially completed the story. Now I don't know after this if Ryu will go back to the Estrella Familia member, or just be like a member of them, but still do her own thing. We'll see. I still have this feeling like, at some point I could see her maybe transferring over to the Hestia Familia at some point. Like, it would make the most sense for her to do that. But if she's like, if Estrella's like, look, you can still be in my familia, you can just do whatever you freely want, if there's anything you need to tell me, let me know, right? Also, I did not know Estrella was freaking, I'm like, right, Estrella is a snack, bro. I'm like, oh my god, Estrella. And she's also got the flower to basically declare that she's there, right? And everything. They even do cut over the civilians. They're like, wait, the Estrella Familia is back? What? This is crazy. And I also think, like, they ask a question like, wait, are we even allowed to let this happen? Because they're kind of not realistically supposed to be here. And Ganesh is just like, who cares? Whatever. It doesn't mean anything. Or actually, no, that wasn't them. It was the cafe girls. The cafe, so they mentioned about the cafe girls because the cafe girls they don't have no familia they belong to. And that's when Ganesh is like, no, who cares? Whatever. Right? So that's the whole thing. But again, like I said, it was a full circle moment, completely in a weird way. You can finally kind of say this kind of concludes Ryu's little arc when it comes to that Estrella Familia story point. And it's just nice to see, like, she, even though she had the trouble and the sadness and everything that happened with her former friend, she still carries that will, and everything she had from her friends from her past. Because she even says that in the episode. Because she's like, before she started fighting, she's like, let's go, Alisa, together, right? And also, too, she was gifted a sword from the Estrella Familia, this special sword that was gifted to her, right? And they gave it to her, which was pretty dope too. So that was pretty cool. That episode was amazing. And then we got left off on that cliffhanger to where frickin' healer girl was like, God damn it. Well, it won't matter. You may have beat him, but I can revive him. So guess what? You're gonna get screwed. You're gonna have to fight him again and you're gonna be tired out. But then all of a sudden we have it to where Hayden attacks them, right? And then she turns around and she's like, what? Which cuts into the next episode that I watched first. And we get a flashback to that moment when Belle told Lily, like, hey, this is what I think is gonna happen. And he basically told us, like, I think Master Hayden is going to turn on them at some point in this fight. And exactly, Belle was correct. He turned on the Freya Familiar for Freya Familia. And we already know because he ends up, we see in the flashback, Belle's like, he's just like Horn. He wants what's best for Freya, and he knows what Freya is doing currently isn't the right thing to do because he actually cares about his goddess. He doesn't want to see his goddess upset and sad and everything, right? He wants what's best for her, and he feels like, look, I feel like maybe helping out freaking Belle Cornell, it's gonna make my goddess happier. And he even's like, I'm sorry, Lady Freya, but I have to do what I must. And we do cut over to Freya, a bit in episode 13, and she gets very pissed off. Like, when she gets this revealed, she's like, what is Hayden doing? What is he doing? Right? And the more in the episode when the tides start to turn, she gets very pissed off because she's just like, why are they doing this, right? So that's kind of the thing. That was a pretty shocking reveal. He basically uses magic and he takes them all out. So it seems like they're out of commission too, right? And on top of Ryuu winning and taking out one of their strongest individuals, it's only fueling the Allied Alliance to continue to do. It's the same thing. Like, you take down one of the big threats, it's only going to give more inspiration to others on the team of like, oh, wait, if they did it, we can do it too. So that's the thing. Now, Hayden tells Ryuu, like, hey, Belle Cornell's over there. You might need to get over there and help him because he's getting his ass beat. He won't be able to you need to help him take down Otari, right? So Ryuu shows up in the nick of time to start healing Belle, and everything. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Mamma Mia ends up just showing up out of the blue and just comes in. Now, we already knew this because if you watched the opening closely, you saw that Mamma Mia was involved in the fight. Now, the interesting thing was, how would she get involved in the fight? So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it, okay? So also too, as this is also going on, the other cafe girls end up showing up, right? And Anya is also there. Because if you remember, Anya was in this suppressed state after Freya revealed the truth to her, and she was kind of like out of commission, right? And this also kind of pissed off, this also pissed off Freya because we cut over. She's like, why, Seer? Why are you doing this to me? And it's kind of going back to this whole thing of she needs to just accept the fact that she is Seer, and we have it to where these cafe girls, even one by one, including Anya herself, basically what happened is they were taken to see from Loki. They were taken to see basically Horn in her comatose state, holding the seer form. And we also find out that wasn't her when Anya was still sulking. It wasn't her brother that was there. It was the member of the Loki Familia, the other wolf dude that was there, which actually they're both cats. And it was funny because Anya's like, let me down, let me, and he's biting her. And it's funny because the dude tells like Loki, like, nah, I just got bit by this fucking stupid cat, so I don't give a shit, right? But basically, this, obviously Horn holding the form of Seer, and the cafe girl seeing this, and even Ryuu ended up seeing this as well, which fuels them to get involved in the fight. Because remember, Horn is literally, when she goes into Seer, and the fact that she's also connected with Freya, she actually has Freya's, like, feelings. Like, this is Freya's feelings. Like, when Freya's telling, Ryuu, Anya, and the other two, cafe girls, like, I'm so sorry, I don't want to hurt you, I'm so sorry, and everything. You like, and you know, the whole thing of like, I need, please come save me. That's actually what Frey is really feeling. She really, and this only even further goes into this whole thing of like, no, she genuinely enjoyed her time being with the other cafe girls, being growing a friendship alongside them, including Ryuu, and Freya genuinely got close to these individuals, and they mean a lot to her. And the fact that she's doing all this because of Belle, it's paining her, it's hurting her that she has to basically kind of try to hurt her friends because she wants this guy she's madly in love with, right? And that's why you saw when they cut over to Freya, she's like very pissed off and just like, why, Seer? Why? Even though that's her true feelings, she doesn't want to do this to her friends because she genuinely does care about them. And clearly all the girls in their individual fights are like, we're here to freaking go find Seer, and we're here to put like basically slap some sense into her basically telling like, they're basically telling like, we're going up there to slap some sense into freaking Freya because we know she's Seer deep down. And again, I'm of the belief this season's gonna end with Freya still probably being a goddess, right? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe she'll forgo her goddesshood, right? I don't, and want to be a regular, you know, civilian. But at the end of I already know at the end of this season, it's gonna come down to Freya with all the people. It's not only just gonna be the cafe girls, but it's also gonna be Belle too. Basically getting her to admit that no, yes, you may be Freya, you may be a freaking the goddess Freya, but at the end of the day, to us, you're Seer, and that's definitely you, right? You may say you're Freya, but we know you're Seer deep down, and you can't deny it anymore. And it will probably end off with her finally accepting to that, asking her officially from her friends to save her from the clutches of goddesshood, I guess you can say, if you want to go like that, right? So that's the thing. Now, we also find out how Mamma Mia ended up getting involved, and we have it to where Loki shows up at the tavern, right? And Loki's like, hey, don't you want to like help them out and everything? We know you were pretty strong yourself. You were and we find out she was like a commander of the Freya Familia. So that's why she's so strong and why she ended up, you know, getting is actually, we don't see her like doing massive damage on Otari, but she's actually like challenging Otari and making Otari work to beat her, right? Which is crazy. And clearly they have some history. Now, maybe they were like sparring partners at some point. She was definitely stronger than he was. But even though Mamma Mia's like, she was like semi-retired and she's not as strong as she used to be, like, I'm like, geez, she's still holding her own. But we find out the backstory how she ended up joining, right? And it's the whole thing, as she was telling Loki, she's like, look, yes, I was a member in that freaking Familia, but, you know, look, I saw her, you know, crying in this field of flowers, which, okay, that's kind of like what we saw at the start of the episode. So is that, are we going to get a point where we see a flashback of maybe a younger Freya that looks like Seer just crying in this flower field because she's all alone, right? Right? And it also explains like why she joined the tavern, because she wanted to be amongst people. She felt alone. And basically Mamma Mia made a promise like, I'm not going to do anything that involves getting involved with the Freya Familia unless she actually tells me to help her or save her or something. And that's when Loki's like, all right, then let me show you something. And that's exactly what Horn and Seer, you know, Seer says, you know, she's like, Mamma Mia, I'm sorry, please save me. And Mamma Mia sees this and she's like, obviously she goes into fucking action because she's looking to save her freaking, basically her goddess at the same time, but also somebody she cares deeply about, right? So you have that going on there. You have that fight, but you have it to where the cafe girls, they end up getting involved and they're fighting the brothers, the siblings, or the clone siblings, right? And Haruhime gives a level boost to everybody, not even giving a shit, because you know what happens is Anya like does this like enchantment where it basically does a status decrease for characters in the area, right? And it actually blows away Haruhime's like, you know, hiding cloth, right? And she's like, no, I have to do my level boost technique. But the other characters that were there like, wait, but like if you use your level boost, like people will come after you, like they'll see that. And Haruhime was like, no, I do not care. I'm here to help out my friends, and if they have to come after me, they'll come. I got my friends to protect me. So she does the level boost to give boost up to characters that need it, the level up boost, right? To characters that need it. And basically you have it to where Lily shows up and she throws a smoke bomb to basically get the brothers to be all discombobulated and everything. You just have it to where the cafe girls one by one are taking these dudes down. Like one of them ends up like using like fucking poison on a dagger, and because it's just like I can't move, and this freaking girl's just like, yeah, that's poison right there. You'll be immobilized. I'm just like, listen, we knew these girls when they came to try to help our friends, help the party in season 4 were strong. These characters are up there in terms of like level fucking 6s, bruh. I don't know how strong these girls are, especially as a team, but clearly they're strong. Now, obviously, it makes sense for Anya because she came from the Frey familiar. As for the other two, I don't know how strong or what familiar they used to come from. All we know is they were adventurers at some point, so they had to have been in a familiar that was super strong. But regardless, they were strong. I also like the one that's got like fights with her fists and everything. She's just a badass. She's just a badass. She's hot, but she's a badass too, right? Also, too, we do see Hestia, and basically what it looks from what I was implied that they're gonna go to the battlefield and actually level these characters up because this other god was like, hey, we can max up their levels, right? Let's freaking raise their kit. Let's do a level reach and raise their level. So I'm guessing they're going down there, and Hestia is gonna like legitimately increase their levels from what they were. It makes sense because they were fighting the Frey family, so they should have gained a lot of experience to be able to level up another level. So if that's the case, then that's pretty good because that means our characters will be a lot stronger than they were before. But that's basically it, and the episode just ends off with and then I forgot to mention. Thank goodness I remember this. So one, Ryuu asked like, "Hey, what are you gonna do with this whole seer stuff, right?" And basically, Belle straight up says like, "No, I'm gonna reject her again. I'm gonna go save her, but I'm gonna reject her again and saying I don't reciprocate the same feelings. I know I'm gonna hurt her again, and I know she's doing all this because I rejected her initial feelings, but it doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, I'm always gonna be there to save her and be there for her." Even if I have to do it countless times, which I'm just like, I love you, Belle, but like that does not sound smart if you keep rejecting a girl and she's gonna do crazy shit like this. Because like even Ryuu was like, "You're such a hypocrite," and Belle's like, "Yeah, I know I'm a hypocrite, but that's the best thing I gotta do, right?" So I was just like, well, it's an animal trait. I'm just like, you're always gonna be there for Seer or slash Freya, even though she'll profess her love and you'll just keep turning her down. I'm just like, at some point, I understand she's crazy bitch, but like at that point, I'll be like, man, just start going out with her, bro. Just start dating her, man. Just give her what she wants, and she'll probably be chill and happy, right? But hey, my man's in love with Ice. He gave her the no, like. He's like, I'm in love with Amelia, right? He gave the REM speech to Frey already, right? So that's the thing right then and there, right? So yeah, so that's the thing. And then also too, I forgot to mention, before they charge back in the battle against Otari, finally, Ryuu finally musters up the courage and she confesses her feelings to Belle, saying like, I like you, Belle. And Belle, at first, I was wondering, like, okay, is she saying this in her head? No, she said this out loud. Belle's like, wait, what? Wait, what did you say? And Ryu's like, in a romantic sense, I like you. No, I love you. And Belle was like, why? His face getting all red. Just like, oh my god. This man's got so many girls on this man's... This man Bell has so many women on his fucking arms, like, dog. He needs to be like freaking dude from 100 Girlfriends and just wipe them all up and have them all be his girlfriends. I feel like that would just save everything if he could just have all the girls to himself. All these girls freaking want him, bruh. At this point, he might as well just be our boy from 100 Girlfriends and say, you know what? I'm gonna have 100 girlfriends. He might as well. Like, what's stopping him? They all love him, so, you know, he all gives them attention, rightfully, and would all solve the problem to all these girls not being or being jealous of him. But anyways, these last two episodes were dope. I'm very excited to see where the next two episodes going forward, but it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be at least a week, and then we'll obviously be back. But regardless, happy that Danmachi's back, ready to close out this season, and just two great episodes. And definitely can't wait to see how they close off this season. And yes, the worth was waited. The wait was worth it. The wait was worth it for that little delay that we had. It was definitely worth it. But till then, guys, catch you guys in the next video, and see you guys later. Hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Danmachi content or any other anime content uploaded to the channel. Till then, guys, peace.